Hello everybody, how we doing? My name is Chris. I'd like to welcome you to my channel. If this is your first time, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Chris and I use this platform to air my mind, talk about my views. I do not appreciate going to people's business, so I'm going to keep it strictly political, because if there is no political freedom, every other freedom is temporal, every other freedom it's a transit. So I believe that it is important that we have political stability of all things. So my concern basically as a Nigerian is basically about Nigeria. I'd like us to come online so that we can talk. It is very important to keep the conversation going. I'd like to say welcome everybody. If it's your first time coming on this page, I'd like to welcome you. I'm relatively new on YouTube blogging, and basically I just talk about the truth and my mind, basically what is bugging people's mind, what is really going on politically in Nigeria right now, because I'm a Nigerian, I'm in diaspora though, but I have families there, I got my roots there, so it is important that we talk about what is going on for betterment. A lot of people in diaspora, only pay lip service. They don't really talk about what is going on. They just express concern and worry, but guess what? Age is creeping up on you, even though you're making investment in Nigeria, and we're in Europe and America and UK, where it is all work. We're in a work country. We're in work continent, where you got to work so that you can live. And as an African, after a while, you get tired of working all day long. You work your butt off to get your loan, you get your mortgage, you work your butt off to get your car, you work your butt off to get everything working. And, don't get me wrong, everything is working right here. This place is beautiful. Okay, it's beautiful. And I'm telling you, this is a beautiful place. And, I just wonder, as many who are really passed on to the world beyond, who didn't have the opportunity to look around the world and see the beauty that is in this place is beautiful. It's a wonderful place. However, we need to develop our own. We need to develop our own. Our country, Nigeria, needs to get better. The continent of Africa has to get better so that we don't keep, putting pressure. So basically what I'm trying to talk about right now is the fact that, that Nigeria, the unity of Nigeria is not worth the life of any Nigerian. I'm going to say that again. The unity of Nigeria is not worth the life of any Nigerian. If you think it's worth the life of any Nigerian, why don't you start with your family? If you think the unity of Nigeria, the need for Nigeria to come together, to stay together, is worth the life of any member of your family, I think we should direct the kidnappers to come to your family house first and start taking people from your family and not bring them back. And if they have to bring them back, they pay ransom. So you see what I'm saying? The unity of Nigeria is not worth the life of any Nigerian. You see, the fact that the politicians are not talking about it, it doesn't make it right. On the flip side, the fact that you are not saying nothing about it, you see, it doesn't make it right. The unity of Nigeria is not worth the life of any Nigerian. If you doubt me, maybe we should start from your family. Why don't they take members of your family and you don't say nothing? So you see, what is good for one is good for all. And what is good for all is good for one. What is good for one tribe should be good for all the tribes. What is good for one religion should be good for other religions. So right now is an open season of kidnapping. As in, there is kidnapping on end. There is no week that somebody is not kidnapped in Nigeria. There is no week that somebody is not kidnapped in Nigeria. And yet, some generals are getting paid. Some senior military officers are getting paid. Some senior Air Force officers are getting paid. Some senior, naval officers are getting paid. Some senior police officers are getting paid. Arms and ammunition are being bought every day. millions of dollars right now. I'm not talking about Naira. So you see, the life is the unity of Nigeria is not worth the life of any Nigerian. If you think it is, let them come and kidnap your son or your daughter. And when you challenge them, say, oh, it is for the unity of Nigeria. It is not worth it. So this is why we have to speak up, which is what this program is about. This is what I'm talking about. We should learn to speak up. It is not particularly for Nigerians in diaspora. Nigerians in diaspora should not sit pretty and say, oh, they have crossed the Rubicon. They've crossed the Jordan. So it is not, there's no point speaking. It is wrong. It is wrong because guess what? You most likely will not retire in Europe, in US, or in UK. You're most likely not going to retire there. But you keep sending your investment in Nigeria. But an age is creeping up on you. And one day you're going to get tired of walking in the winter, walking in the spring, walking in all this cold, and you want to go back to an environment you are much more familiar with less pressure, and all of that. And this is why we need to talk about it. There is no keeping quiet about the plight of other people. You see, what is good for one is good for all. The unity of Nigeria is not worth the life of any Nigerian. That we have to let some people die because Nigeria needs to stay united is wrong. It is not acceptable. It is not the best practice anywhere in the world. And which is why we need to speak up. And which is why we need to speak out. And I must say that the level of carnage, the level of death, the level of kidnapping, and the level of destruction that Nigeria is experiencing today is the highest, hands down, that we have experienced across all the ruling political leaders that we have seen in Nigeria. And to think that the current President Buhari, contested 3 times and lost the election, only to be rigged in the 4th time, and you think that he cried when he was losing those elections, and you think that he was going to come in and some mega change was going to happen. I mean, I didn't vote for him, and I didn't trust him. Back then, I didn't trust him. And I'm telling you, I used to argue with my landlord. We will argue. I said, and because he was a former military officer, so we will argue. We'll talk about it. I said, listen, because he was a military officer does not make him a better choice, because he did not take time to improve himself. He never ran an organization. He didn't own a company. He did not improve himself. He didn't even go to any school or academic program to improve himself. After 1984, he stayed back like that all through. And you think that kind of person was going to come back? Somebody who was accused of religious bigotry, somebody who was accused of incapable of managing his administration when he was there. Thanks to General Diagon, who was alleged to have accompanied that administration even before Buhari, even before IBB overthrew. And this is the same person who overthrew a democratically elected government. So it was a no-no. But then again, that is history. We're talking about right now. It is crystal clear that there is fire on the mountain. And we cannot be quiet. Wherever you are on the face of the earth, to see people suffering. People are being kidnapped every day. And guess what? Nobody, be political appointees, political officers, humanitarian organizations, I'm talking about even elected officers, I'm talking about even law enforcement agencies, nobody can, by their fingers, tell you the number of people that have been kidnapped. Nobody. Nobody can be able to confidently tell you that XYZ number of people were kidnapped and XYZ number of people have been recovered. And nothing missing, nothing broken. It is difficult. And for those of us who are very religious, you cannot take your religion or your belief away from political activities. They go together. Even in the Bible, there is, give me one prophet who served independent of political activity. Give me one prophet who served independent. One serious prophet who served independent of political activity, independent of the king, independent of the ruler, who was not recognized by the king, was not recognized by the rulers, was not recognized by the council of elders in that kingdom. All through the Bible, there was one recognition or the other. Even Apostle Paul, who was learned, who was formerly Saul, was educated in law and civil matters, still had his interactions with the law and the people in power when he was persecuted, because he was on the other side. So you see, there is no way you can say, oh, because you are religious, you don't have any business, talking political. It is wrong. Those are ideas of the old. This is a new era. We must rise up. We must speak up. We must speak up. And the challenge I have is that the youths are not ready. This is why Nigeria is where it is today. And I'm not going to get tired of talking about this. Even if I have one person or nobody speaking, or nobody joining this, I'm not going to stop, because the youths are not ready. The youth are too preoccupied being young. They are too preoccupied being young. Oh, they cannot help, but to just express themselves and their youthful exuberance. They can't. Look at South Africa. South Africa was recovered through struggle of young people. I'm talking about secondary school children. In the struggle, I'm talking about South Africa. South Africa gained independence by the pressure within, even though there was outcries outside. But the pressure within persisted, despite being kids. And we're talking about children, kids, who will go out in the streets to demonstrate, to speak up, to cry out. Look at Japan today. Japan is still, the youth are the ones who are going out there to speak up, and cry out and use every medium possible to express concern about the government of oppression. Look at Myanmar in Asia right there, that had a democratically elected president and a military coup took place just like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, now about a month ago. And guess what? Since the coup came in, the people are still on the streets. Are still on the street agitating. People are being killed, but they have refused to go on the street. Now, those who are the military people that took over that government, overthrew a democratic government, are under pressure. Do you understand? So I appreciate what happened in October 20th. I appreciate what happened in the first 2 weeks of October. How the Nigerian youth came in and participated in an end-SARS protest. And honestly, my heart goes out to as many of them. I appreciate each and every one of them that participated. You cannot separate the youths from, that political pressure. The government of the day needs political pressure to sit up or resign. If you think that the unity of Nigeria is worth the life of any Nigerian, how about we try to come to your family and we don't say nothing about it? That is what I'm talking about this evening or this afternoon. This evening. If you think that the unity of Nigeria is worth the life of any Nigerian, then keep quiet and don't say nothing. And let them come for your family and we keep quiet and don't say nothing. But if you know that the unity of Nigeria is worth, the unity of Nigeria is worth the life of all Nigerians, then we all have to rise up and say something. Just a post. just a post, just a chat, just say something, just a post, just a chat. How do you go on? How does conscience allow you go on and see people being kidnapped year in, year out? Right now, kidnapping is on a weekly basis, and my heart really goes out. I feel broken. I feel sad. You know that the country has come to this point where there is doubt if there is a president, where it is bleak because right now nobody knows nothing. And you see, we keep having invasion from the north, whether they are Boko Haram, whether they are ISWAP, whether they are bandits, whether they are cattle bandits, cattle herdsmen, in various names, and they have been alleged, you know, armed people coming in from Niger and other places, camping in the bushes, trying to invade people. And we have had instances where hunters, even in the southwest, have made, you know, reports of number of people in various groups camping in the bushes, and you are keeping quiet. You know, it is scary how these things are not bothering people who are in the city, because it has not gotten to the city. But if you keep your ears close to the ground, you will know that there is fire on the mountain. You will know that you need to talk about these things wherever you are. You don't need to, you know, go on in a megaphone, but mention it. Particularly we who are Christians. We sit pretty and we relax, cozy, and things are happening. And there is invasion coming in from, you know, from outside the country. Have you not heard? Has it not occurred to you that there is fire on the mountain, people? People, there is fire on the mountain. The information we hear outside that you do not hear is scary. The information that is filtering in is mind-boggling, is heartbreaking. We need to speak about it. You know, I'll be lying if I say I'm not worried. I'll be lying if I say I'm not worried. I'll be lying to you if I say I'm not worried. Most of all, that Nigerians are not saying anything. Most of all, to allow this administration get away with too much. How can an administration mark $1.5 billion for a refinery renovation, and it is not working, and it is performing very below optimum, and then the Nigerians are keeping quiet and watching? How can, you know, this go on? Monies upon a lot of money just getting missing, and nobody says nothing, and everybody just keep quiet and not looking on. You know, and how can an administration be negotiating with bandits, and nobody saying, and everybody just looking on? I mean, I appreciate the fact that, I understand the fact that this administration has gagged the press. This administration has gagged the press more than ever before. Of previous administrations, this administration has gagged the press so that the press, you know, are only playing to the tune of the piper. I appreciate that. I mean, following the dictate of that tune. I understand that. I also understand that if you cannot say so much, except if you do, you're going to be picked up. I also know that. But one avenue I know that these things can be spoken of is when you share posts like this. If you cannot say nothing, why don't you share? Share and let the awareness be created. And let people know what is going on. You know, and let people can't travel. When you travel, you got to leave your eyes open. You can't trust nobody. In Nigeria right now, where the level of security is very, very tense and toxic, we need to speak about it. No, the unity of Nigeria is not worth the life of any Nigerian. If we are supposed to be giving life for unity, then we might as well go back to the Stone Age, where we need to appease gods of the land every year with how many heads of humans so that we can survive as a people. Those were our practices back then. For a village or a community to stay alive, you must appease the gods. And whatever the gods request is what we are going to give. If the gods say this year you are going to bring 10 human heads, you are going to appease the gods with 10 human heads. Fast forward 2021. What is the difference between that and now? Where there's a democratically elected administration, quote and unquote, and people are being kidnapped every week. Read the papers, watch the news every week, and it doesn't bother you. It should bother you. It should bother you in the place of prayer. It should bother you whether in the meetings that you are. It should be talked about. The concerns should be expressed. How can fuel go from 65 in 2015 to $212 and 12 naira in a country that has oil, and yet they cannot refine, and there is money for renovation, but you are still exporting, and there's no accountability, and NNPC is still existing? It is worrisome. I have never seen the kind of corruption that is going on right now, particularly at this time where the northern politicians are in the realm of affairs. I've never seen it before. The kind of corruption that is going on, the kind of nepotism that is going on, the kind of neglect that is going on. You know, they forget that Nigeria is just a coming together of nations. Nigeria is just a coming together of nations. Just like UK is a coming together of nations. UK is a coming together of nations. Nigeria is a coming together of nations. And the system of government that we're practicing is not total. It's not whole. It is not whole. And why is it not whole? It's supposed to be presidential. It's supposed to be broken down federal system, where every region will take responsibility for itself. But right now, what is happening? It is being manipulated and nobody says nothing. I refuse to be in the generation of people who says nothing. I refuse to be in the generation of people who says nothing. Your opinion counts. Even though this administration is gagging its people, is strangling and arresting people who say something, the least you can do is to share posts like this for those of us who can as much as speak up. Please, do not allow this shenanigan to go on. I want to urge Nigerians to please speak up. It is very important. When you speak up, you oil your conscience. It's like you're pinching yourself to know that you still have conscience. When you speak up, you are telling you are practicing good neighborliness. When you speak up, you are bringing your brother's keeper. When they kidnap somebody in Benue and you don't say nothing. They kidnap somebody in Kaduna and you don't say nothing. They kidnap somebody in Nasarawa and you don't say nothing. They kidnap somebody in Adamawa and you don't say nothing. They kidnap somebody in Ilorin and you don't say nothing. They kidnap somebody in Ondo State and you don't say nothing. They kidnap somebody in Oyo State and you don't say nothing. Guess where they're coming to? They're coming to Lagos. They're coming to Port Harcourt. They're coming to Imo. They're coming to Delta. And I don't know what you're going to say then when it is too late. That is what I'm saying. If they kidnap somebody in Zamfara and you don't say nothing. They kidnap somebody in Bauchi State and you don't say nothing. Okay, maybe these things are politically motivated so that money can come out of the coffers of government, because it is a taboo for any government to negotiate with bandits. Perhaps it is all a ploy so that they can bring money out, an avenue to steal money from the coffers of government. It is not impossible. I'm not ruling anything out as far as this administration is concerned, this Buhari APC administration. As far as I'm concerned, it could all be a ploy. I'm telling you, if you have not thought about it, I have. That could it be that all this is a ploy to just take money out from the system? You know, avenue to just steal more money, to equip God knows who more money. And guess what? If they keep using the bandits, the terrorists to steal money, and the terrorists when there's so much money in the hands of bandits, when there's so much money, I will appreciate if those who are trying to call me right now should hold on a little bit. This is live video, and I don't want to keep the people with live video waiting. So please, it is very important that we need to speak up, that we need to speak out. Nobody can hazardly guess how many people that has been kidnapped between January to date, as kidnapping has been going on almost on a weekly basis, especially in this month of March, almost on a weekly basis. And my heart goes out to people. The other time it was some college kids, some college kids were kidnapped. Some college kids were kidnapped in Kaduna. Young people being tortured right there. And there's a military government. And there's a sheikh who goes to negotiate with bandits. Whereas the military don't know where the bandits are. There's a lot of suspicious activities going on with this government. And because you know that you are not a part of what is going on, you should be worried. You should be concerned. You should put it in a place of prayer. You should keep your eyes and your ears open. You should be cautious and not travel anyhow. Even if you cannot speak out, you should share platforms like this so that we can be able to keep people conscientized. That it is very important that we know what is going on. There is hanky-panky going on with this government and the bandits, kidnapping and what is going on. Because even the government at the federal is handling these things with kids' gloves. And you know it, and I know it. And this nonsense must stop. There is even no guarantee that there's going to be a 2023 election. There is no guarantee. There is no guarantee there is going to be 2023 elections. Those who have the ability to contest election a second time are keeping quiet. Have been accessories to the kidnapping that is going on. Are indirectly cooperating and not speaking out against the federal government. Those who have opportunity to go for a second term as governors, those who have opportunity to go for a second time as senators, those who have opportunity of recontesting a particular political position are not saying anything. Those in Oyo State are not saying anything. Those in Ogun State are not saying anything. Those who know that they have an opportunity to recontest a second term, those whose term is this is their first term, are not saying anything. Those who are still looking for political favors, either to go as governors, either to go as senators, as House of Rep in federal or state, are not saying anything. Please do not be quiet. Do not go back to sleep. There is fire on the mountain, people. There is fire on the mountain. And if you don't know it, now you know it. You need to speak up. You need to say a word, even a post. If you cannot, why don't you share this platform? And let us speak and let us talk about it. Some of us are stakeholders in our various organizations. Some of us are influencers. Even in our family meetings, how many times have this matter been raised? Let us not be selfish and self-centered. Once the immediate members of our families are secured, then everybody is good. It should not be so. It should not be so. It should not be so. I had a first-hand, narrative of the war directly from my father, who was in the war front and came back alive. God bless his soul. He died a couple of years ago. You see, when the drums of war was coming in 1993, and everybody went home to the village, we didn't travel. And when I tried to put pressure on my father why we didn't travel, he looked at me and smiled. He said, if war was going to come, that he will know it. Because he was at the war front. He said, if there was going to be war, that we would be the first people that would travel. That he was there when 1967 war came, and he was part of it. and he went to the village and he was part of the war. So, brethren, don't sit back and say this thing is just all talk. The Nigeria today is not the Nigeria of 10, 20 years ago. Those who fought for the 1993 Abiola June 12th election, most of the people are the ones in government today. And look at the shenanigans. You would think that they fought for a good cause. Most of the people who fought for June 12th are the ones in government today. Those who started the radio Kudirat are the ones in government today, people. Don't get fooled. Don't get fooled. You only know yourself. Those who fought for June 12th, to be recognized. Those who fought for Abiola are the ones in government today. The Tinubus are the ones in government today. Yes. The Firemen are the ones in government today. Yes. They are the ones in government today. They are the ones that are holding the country captive. The Tinubus holding Lagos captive. The Firemen who want to become president who are not saying anything about banditry and kidnapping and cattle herdsmen. They are the ones in government today. So please speak up, speak out, and don't be fooled. Don't be bought. There is no guarantee for 2023. Honestly, I'm telling you, with the way things are going, nobody whose child or family member is kidnapped is going to sit back and fold their arms. Nobody whose commonwealth is being carted away is going to sit back and do nothing. Today, UK is trying to, bring back 4.5 or so million pounds stolen from Delta State by the former governor, Chief James Ibori, one single individual. And you will ask, what about the previous monies that were recovered? Guess what? They have been reluted, but nobody is going to tell you. It's going to bring out a balance sheet and tell you these were the places the monies went to. Nobody can tell you. They don't know. The monies were reluted. Why do you think that they are still holding the former EFCC chairman? It has been reluted, people. Allegedly, it has. So please, people, don't sit down and kick back. This is not the time to sit down and kick. This is the time to be watchful. This is time to open your eyes. This is time to be watchful. Even as Christians, this is not the time to sit back and pray and look. It is time to participate. If people whose democratically elected leaders were overthrown by a coup by a military group are still outside after a month of that coup, there's nothing that should stop us, from speaking out against the people who are in government today. These are the same people who protested and said 65 naira per barrel is inhuman. Today, fuel is 112 naira. So please, it is important that we speak out. It is important that we speak out. I'm so glad I did not vote for Buhari. I'm so glad. I know my former landlord is regretting right now. I am so glad I didn't vote for him. I am so glad. I'm so glad. My only worry is that I didn't realize that it was going to be so incompetent. It was going to be so bad. I didn't know it was going to be this worse. I knew it was going to be bad, but I didn't know it was going to be worse. So please, people, I want to use that avenue to say that the unity of Nigeria, I say it again, let's think about it. Let's think about it. The unity of Nigeria is not worth the life of any Nigerian. Please type it on your page and share. The unity of Nigeria, the need for Nigeria to come together is not worth the life of any Nigerian. The unity of Nigeria need to be evaluated. We need to review these things. We need to go back to the drawing board and say this particular region that has been ruling for 6-7 years and the pressure to overrun the country is on a high. And the federal government is not saying anything. What is going on? We need to speak about it. What happened to the... And it's very, very important for us to say something about it. We cannot just go on like this. Where is progress in this roller coaster? Where is progress? It is difficult to point out progress in a roller coaster like this. Honestly, it is. I'm not just talking, I'm trying to create a program. I have better things to do. See calls coming in. It is difficult to point out progress. If you are making progress individually, and the country is not making progress, it is temporal. Because the fear of destruction is there. You have fear, you have anxiety that this individual progress you are making can just go on in one sweep. And that is it. It is over. So it is important that we speak. It is important that we air our views. It is important that we participate in the debate. You see, for a country, a great country to go down, for a great society to go down, it takes a few good people like you watching right now to sit down and say nothing, to sit down and do nothing. For a great country to go down, for a great community to sit back in ruin, it takes a few good people to sit back and say nothing. And please, I beg of you, let us not sit back and just say nothing. Let us say something, let us speak out. You know, so that we can, look back and say, when we are asked tomorrow, what did you do? Say, oh, I spoke out. Oh, we spoke out. Which is why I feel that the key participants of the NSAS protest, particularly the young ones who lost their lives, I just feel that they were betrayed. They were betrayed. Who? They were betrayed by who? They were betrayed if you didn't speak out. You betrayed them for not speaking out. You betrayed the NSAS protesters when you didn't speak out. You betrayed the NSAS protesters when in your various groups you didn't say nothing. You betrayed the NSAS protesters when you are in the comfort of your cozy room and you were smiling and you are only sending birthday pictures to yourselves. You betrayed them when you didn't say nothing. Now the government is that government that was appealing and begging for the protests to stop, and now the ones going after those protesters, seizing their funds, locking down their accounts, putting them in prison, and nobody is saying anything. And nobody say, and when another protest comes up again, and you will expect the youth to understand. When we have a government that has failed to understand, when we have a government that has failed to reason, we have a government that has failed to behave, we have a government that refuses to be responsible, we have a government that holds innocent people down, we have a government that will imprison whistleblowers, we have a government that will continue to go after people because they spoke their mind, because they speak the truth. When there is freedom of speech, but they cannot guarantee your freedom. When we have a government that cannot secure its people, when we have a government that cannot, secure its borders, we have a government that cannot be accountable to the people. We have a government that cannot even feed their people. We have a government that is stealing from its people. We have a government that is, stealing food from its people. It's a shame. The Buhari APC government is a shame. The Buhari APC government must resign. The Buhari APC government is a shame. It's a shame on itself. It's a shame to the people. And the whole world is seeing it. And the whole world knows. It's a shame that there's a government like this and we fold our hands and we are watching and we don't do nothing. Honestly, it's a shame. It's a shame to be to have thousands of graduates, professors and master's degree holders, the highest number of graduates in the whole world, the highest number of black graduates in the whole world, I'm telling you. And we have a horrible political leaders. Look at Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Look at the kind of people who are chucking out. Look at Dr. King. Look at the number of people we are giving out to the world. But in our own soil, we are suffering. We give the world the best. We give the world the best. They come to our soil, they take the best. They represent us in those mega organizations. But in our home, we have rogues running government. But in our country, we have riffraffs running government. But in our country, we have incompetent people running government. But we give the world our best. We give the world our best. We give them our best. We give them our best. But in our country, Nigeria, we have incompetent people. Look at the former deputy speaker, of the House, telling the world that he doesn't recognize Nigerians in diaspora. That is the highest level of incompetence that I can even fathom. It also shows that he doesn't know what he's doing. He shows that he doesn't belong in that position. He shows that he doesn't value the position at all, or the people who put him there. It's a shame that we have the worst as leaders, but we give the best to the world. It's a shame that we have those kind of people. Particularly, I want to speak particularly to Christians, to believers. We are in a better position today more than we were 20 years ago, 30 years ago. We are in a better position today more than we were 30, 40 years ago, when the church could not afford anything, when the church was struggling, when the church was regarded as church rats. The church is in a better footing financially. The church is in a better place. The church needs to stand up. The church needs to be participatory. The church needs to be participatory because our brothers on the other side are running us over. They are attempting to run us over. So you cannot be quiet. You cannot be quiet and let people sit a caliphate upon your head. You cannot be quiet. You cannot be quiet because it is obvious there is hanky-panky going on between the northern political elites and their religious counterparts. You cannot be quiet. You cannot be quiet. Please, go and find out the history of Turkey, the former Constantinople. It was like this. Turkey, the former Constantinople. There's a history behind that. Google it and find out their history. They were not majority Muslims. It started like this. It started by docile attitude. It started by willing southerners who are ready to take anything and to give up their brothers. It started by willing southerners like Tinubu. It started like willing southerners like the southern governors and the west and the eastern governors. Willing southerners who are ready to sell their people. Willing southerners who are ready to allow the other religious people to trample upon their people. Please do not be a part of this game. Do not be a part of this game. Honestly, I thank as many who have been able to join me this evening. I appreciate you. I believe that you have the same passion that I do, which is why you kept on. I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Feel free to join me on YouTube. My name is Chris. Thank you everyone for taking the time. I really appreciate this. Let us continue the conversation. Please feel free to leave me a comment. I will appreciate your comment. I will appreciate your chat. Chat me up. I'm going to leave a time slot for the next time I'm going to come around. Thank you very much and have a lovely, lovely, lovely evening. Let's continue to talk about this. Once again, I say the unity of Nigeria is not worth the life of any Nigerian. If we have to keep killing people and the government keeps quiet so that we can stay united, it's not worth staying together. It is time for the unity of Nigeria to be reevaluated. We need to reevaluate where we stand so that we can decide where we are going to, so that we can know who we are. We do not necessarily have to have one central government that is figurehead, and the people are suffering from insecurity, hunger, starvation, and what have you. Meanwhile, we can all be independent of each other, and we will progress successfully. so that each region can begin to find their strength and know how they can diversify and be better off, rather than this shenanigan going on. It is not worth the life of anybody. The present government, whether in the federal, on the state or local, are playing pawns with the life of individuals. And I will not keep quiet, because it's against my belief, it is against my faith, and it's unacceptable to me as a human being. It is unacceptable for what I believe or by my school of thought. It is not my person to keep quiet and allow people die, whether they are my family or not. Like I said, if you keep quiet when they kidnap people in Zamfara, Kaduna, Bauchi, Kano, Jos, Benue, you keep quiet when they kidnap people in Nasarawa, Gombe, Borno. Guess what? It is coming to Ilorin. It's coming. Ilorin is already having religious tension. It is coming to Oyo State and its environs. So please do not keep quiet. Do not keep. When we see evil, let us call it out, so that the government know that we are alive to our responsibilities, because we are citizens and also a pressure group. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Have a lovely evening. Thank you. God bless you.